Hello my kin, my name is Kin Ping, but you can call me Kin, and today I've got another tier list video for you guys because tier list videos are my most popular, so I thought I might as well make another one, and this time it's about Star Wars. We've done one about Mortal Kombat, we did with 3 videos of a Mortal Kombat tier list, we did a Walking Dead tier list, now we're finally doing a Star Wars tier list, and I thought that there was no better tier list to do a tier list all about all the lightsaber duels and battles that happen in the Star Wars main trilogy, well, the trilogy of trilogies, the Skywalker saga. So I've got that here for you today, and this was not done by me, this was made by someone else. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoy. I've got my notes here. I do not know what tiers battles are going to be in though. I've just taken notes and I guess we'll decide as this video goes on. I'm sorry in advance for all the uses of the words awesome, great, epic, badass and stuff I'm going to be saying a lot of those. I say a lot of them whenever it comes to Star Wars and lightsabers in general. So let's get into it. Okay, so the first one we got here is Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker versus Dooku in Revenge of the Sith. This is the one where Dooku dies, gets his head chopped off by Anakin, and it's also the famous scene of the "do it" from the Emperor. So, you know, this has got to get at least higher than D. It's a good fight. I have gone and rewatched all these fights over. I rewatched all of them yesterday, so I do know what I'm talking about. This isn't just all based off memory. I have rewatched every single one of these fights, and it's an okay fight. It's probably one of my least favorite of the whole prequel series, though, because though it is like a good fight, it still has all the flashy bits, you know, all the flashy spinny bits that don't actually do anything that all the prequels fights had, and it is really cringy. Usually I don't mind the dialogue between fights, you know, when they're just fighting, they have that banter and stuff. Usually I don't mind that, but in this one it was pretty cringy, so that puts it down. But Christopher Lee as Dooku is just awesome, because Dooku is a powerhouse, man. He is so strong, having taken on Obi-Wan and Anakin twice before, and Yoda, of course. I mean, he was trained by Yoda, so very, very good character, very powerful, very fun to watch, actually, with his use of lightning and everything. But the fight itself, I'm gonna put it at like a C, because it's nothing special, really. I mean, there's an awesome bit where Obi-Wan completely dismantles this droid. Otherwise, it's kind of average, not the best fight. Certainly not the worst. It is still enjoyable to watch, but yeah, it's meh. The next one, another one with Dooku here, is the one where he fights Yoda. Like the one I just talked about, this one is very flashy. Not much actually happens. The fight itself isn't really a thing, but it has one of the coolest entrances in Star Wars history, bro. It's so cool. Yoda walks in, he reflects the Force lightning, and then he draws his lightsaber, and it's just, oh my god, it is so badass. It's really, really awesome. Just the entrance for Yoda and everything is great. The fight itself, but all things considered, which I'm going to be doing for all of these duels are going to be all things considered. So characters, build up to it, the fight itself, the emotion behind it, all of that. I'm incorporating all of that, and that's one reason this one didn't get very high up, because it doesn't have that much emotion to it. It shows Anakin's dark side, but other than that, Anyway, for this Yoda one, fight itself, really average, not really worth watching. There are lots of better fights, but the entrance and stuff just makes it such a good scene in general that I'm going to give it a B. If it was a better fight, I'd probably put it an A, maybe even S. But the fight itself, you know, it's just Yoda flipping around and Count Dooku trying to hit him. So that's a B. Next is the one with Finn and the Stormtrooper. I remember when this movie came out, this was the biggest scene in the whole movie, right? Everyone's talking about this. Everyone was going, traitor, when they're having stick fights and everything. It was the biggest thing. And it is really cool. I don't like Finn. I think he's a wasted character. He could have been so much better. He could have had such more potential. He could have been the main character, really. And so I've never really taken much notice of the fight, but having watched it again, the fight is actually awesome. The fight is really good. It's probably one of the best fights in the sequel trilogy. It's great. My only problem with it though is that it should have been Captain Phasma. One of the biggest missed opportunities of the whole sequel series was the rivalry between Finn and Captain Phasma. There could have been so many times that Captain Phasma and Finn met on the battlefield, and Captain Phasma should have survived until Rise of Skywalker, so they could have had an awesome fight on one of the Star Destroyers. So for that reason, I'm not going to give it an S. If it was Captain Phasma, I would give it an S, definitely. Because another thing I liked, it is his first time using a lightsaber, and you can tell. Like, obviously, he's a trained stormtrooper, so he knows his way around a weapon and everything. So, you know, he can fight with a sword, really, because that's effectively what it is. But it does show that it's his first time, which is really good. Because if a stormtrooper can handle that heavy weapon like that, then surely Finn's going to be able to handle another melee weapon like that as well. So I had no problem with how Finn fought in that one. So, all things considered, like I said before, I'm going to give this an A. Lots of you might disagree with me, but I truly do think this fight was a pretty solid fight, man. It was good. Next up, another sequel trilogy one. I'm sorry that all of these are in random order. I was going to go through and put them all in order, but all my notes are in the order that this tier list is in. So just to keep it easier for me, I guess, I've kept it in this order. So we're going to be all over the place, but it's kind of cool, you know, suddenly talking about Dooku and Yoda and then talking about Finn and a First Order Stormtrooper, sorry. It's pretty cool. Anyway, the fight we have here is the one at the end of Force Awakens between Kylo Ren and Rey, and it's not bad. I mean, it's got a great entrance with Rey forcing a lightsaber when you think Kylo's doing it. It's a really good entrance. I am not the only one that thought that it was going to go to Luke, though. I think everyone in the cinemas was thinking that Luke was going to force the lightsaber and then he'd fight Kylo. I think everyone was thinking that. But still, it was a really good entrance. The fight itself is okay. I still think that Rey shouldn't have been as good as she was. I mean, it was obvious that Kylo was way superior, and Kylo had taken a couple wounds anyway. I mean, shot with Chewbacca's crossbow. I think he got wounded by Finn as well. So it was a good little battle, but it wasn't the best. And the fact that Rey won the fight is a bit stupid, really. Kylo would have definitely won that, having been trained by Luke, and then I guess he got trained by Snoke as well. So that is a bit stupid, but it was an okay fight. The scar is really cool that Rey gives Kylo, and the pose. This pose here, this isn't from the movie. This is artwork. I think the person who made the tier list has used. They've used artwork of it, but that pose is brilliant. It's the best pose. Has the best shot of concept art from the whole first movie. So overall, the fight's pretty cool. I just like their setting and and Kylo Ren, seeing Kylo Ren, you know, whacking the wound that Chewie gave him to make himself more angry and shit. It is really cool. So I'm gonna give it a B. I think that's fair. It's not really awesome because there are lots of things wrong with it. It could have been a tiny bit better, so I'm just going to give it a B. Okay, more prequels here. Obviously this is only Mace and Palpatine here, but this is the fight where Mace, Kit Fisto, and the two other Jedi go to arrest Chancellor Palpatine. And it's not as good as I remember. I rewatched this, and yeah, the three other Jedi are just useless, man. Very wasted, because it's obvious that they're just standing there. Like, they don't even try to fight. It looks really strange when you watch it. The intro's awesome, and it's got the meme, it's treason then. It's got all that good stuff. It's just the fight itself is a bit of a letdown. When it's just Palpatine and Mace, it's okay, but it's very flashy, like all the other lightsaber fights. The one thing that I do really like about this duel is when Mace breaks the window. That is just amazing. It's such a cool scene where he just flips the lightsaber to the side, breaks the window, it shatters, falls down, Palpatine's like lying on the ground. It is really cool. But other than that, there's not actually much, other than that and like the standoff at the start, there's not actually much that the fight like gives us, I guess. Because Mace Windu's a cool character. It's awesome to see Palpatine again. That was a huge moment, seeing Palpatine fight with a lightsaber. So I'm gonna give it a B. And guys, I'm sorry if there's gonna be a lot of B's in this, because lots of these fights are like really good but could be better, and B's just gonna be like the base value I put them in, I guess. Anyway, next one, the first lightsaber battle of the whole trilogy. I hope I'm right. I think I am. Yeah. Qui-Gon Jinn and Darth Maul. Lots of you guys probably not even going to remember this fight because it's like the whole of 5 seconds. So I don't really see why it's actually in this list. I mean, it is a duel, I'll give you that, but it's a very boring one. And even the intro where Darth Maul's going across him at speed and nearly runs over Anakin, even that in itself is pretty average. There's nothing really about it. It doesn't showcase Darth Maul or Qui-Gon Jinn really. So I hate to say it, but I'm going to give it a D. Then the last lightsaber battle of the original trilogy. It's awesome. It is really, really awesome. And my favorite thing about this is that it shows Luke's character progression. There's just so much emotion in it, you know, with Darth Vader and Luke and the Emperor, all of their different motives, trying to change different things between each other. Luke goes through all the emotions. It's awesome with the Emperor watching on. And it's got good stunts. Darth Vader throws his lightsaber, which is awesome. And then the scene where Luke attacks after Darth Vader's taunting him when Luke's trying to hide. The music there is just brilliant. It is a perfect fight. Really, it is a really perfect fight. If you cannot remember this fight, I suggest you go back and watch it, because this fight is awesome and it's definitely getting an S tier. Okie doke. Next, Phantom Menace, Darth Maul, Qui-Gon Jinn, Obi-Wan. I think we all know that this is S. You know, if you think it's anything less than S, you're stupid. Okay, and this is another fight. Well, the first fight. This is the first fight between Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Count Dooku. And this is the fight where Anakin loses his hand as well. So in this one, I feel like Dooku's a lot more badass in this one than he is in the other one here. And the first half of the fight where Obi-Wan and Dooku are fighting, it isn't as flashy and spinny and shit as all the other fights in the prequels. And then it has the awesome, like, it's only about 5 seconds where Anakin jumps in, saves Obi-Wan, and then Obi-Wan gives him his lightsaber and he dual wields the 2 lightsabers. Awesome 5 seconds of combat there with the dual wield on Anakin's side. I really did enjoy that. Then after Anakin's dual wield, it's very, very flashy with them just spinning their lightsabers over their heads, and it's shot pretty average as well. You don't actually see the lightsabers like touch. But it is good. I did enjoy seeing Count Dooku and Anakin having their standoff where they're both like holding the lightsabers over their head. I thought that was really cool, and I think it's very Count Dooku, and then Anakin's trying to do it to, you know, like intimidate Count Dooku and everything. I thought that was really good. And the fight is really cool because it has so many different parts to it. As I was saying before, it has the Obi-Wan part. Well, even before that, it has Anakin getting his ass kicked, Obi-Wan, Anakin dual wielding, and then Anakin again and getting his hand chopped off. And then it leads into the Yoda fight. So I'm not going to... The Yoda fight isn't part of this fight, so I won't give it a higher ranking because of that. But I'm just saying that this scene that incorporates the 2 fights is really, really cool. I'm not sure where I'll put it, though, because it has its minuses, it has its positives. I will put it higher than this one here, that's for sure. So I'm thinking A or B. Personally, I think I'm going to put it in A. I do really like this fight. I think it is a good fight. I think it's the fight that showcases Count Dooku the most. Yeah. Hey, here we go. Luke's only duel in the sequel series. Luke's appearance is awesome. You know, when he appears and they get shot at by all the AT-ATs or whatever variation of AT-AT they are. And the whole like scenery, concept art, set kind of thing is awesome. Surrounded by those big AT-ATs. Standing in the salt plain. Kylo Ren just looking badass like always. And yeah, it's pretty cool. The fight itself, though, it's not really a fight. It was a bit of a letdown, honestly, but then you realize that Luke's been making himself this hologram this whole time, and it's like, whoa, that's an awesome power. Because, you know, that is an awesome power. It's just a shame that it kills him. Yeah, it's okay. The concept, I think I enjoy the concept way more. It's just a cool concept. Kylo Ren's good in it, but the fight itself, pretty lame. And there is emotion in it. I feel like there was some pretty good emotion in it, but it just wasn't done to the extent that I would have liked, I think, and most viewers would have liked, especially since it was Luke's only duel. So for that reason alone, I'm giving it a C. If it had been a bit more, and maybe if it actually touched lightsabers, I probably would have put it up in A or something, but I don't think it can go any higher than C. Okay, and this one here is a unique one. This is Obi-Wan versus Jango Fett. And it's awesome. There are lots of reasons I really like this battle, and the main ones are it showcases how awesome Jango Fett is. Because, you know, you always think of Boba Fett. Boba Fett's a badass and everything, and, you know, he was trained by obviously Jango, and he was trained a bit by Cad Bane and everything. But then you realize that Jango is the one all the clones are based off. And if one Jango can be this badass and, like, hold his own against a Jedi, how badass all the clones gonna be, you know? I think was perfect. And my other reason is that this is the fight that made bounty hunters seem way more dangerous. It gave bounty hunters the opportunity to fight Jedi, I guess. Because if you watch any bounty hunter fight in the Clone Wars or Mandalorian, or any battle where a bounty hunter is fighting a Jedi, it is based off this battle. This battle is the groundwork for bounty hunter versus Jedi battles, and it is just awesome. It is really, really cool, because as far as I know, this is the first bounty hunter versus Jedi battle out there, and it's great. It's done great. Jango using all his gadgets and everything, and yeah, it's just great. It set the foundation for a lot of Clone Wars battles and how the battles will play out and everything, especially like Cad Bane versus Anakin sort of stuff. That is the battle that laid the foundations. So I'm not going to give it an S, because it's not like awesome, but I am going to give it an A, because it was a pretty cool fight. And I don't remember, I never remembered much about it, but then I watched it again, and I think it is one of the most underrated, like, duels out there. Obviously, there's only one lightsaber in it, but it is a very cool, very, very cool battle. The first half of the battle in Force Awakens with Kylo Ren and Finn. This one, it was good. Kylo was freaking awesome, and I love how he actually used the side bits of his lightsaber to burn that hole into Finn's shoulder. I thought that was awesome. I really liked that. And Kylo obviously had the best finisher ever, punching Finn across the face and then slicing him up the back. There is nothing more badass than that, bro. It just showed how badass Kylo was. I do however think that Finn wouldn't have done as well against Kylo, but then you could also say that Kylo was injured, so, you know, and Finn's a stormtrooper. Like, we've talked about that with the battle over here with him and the heavy stormtrooper, elite stormtrooper, whatever you want to call it. It was really cool. Kylo just made that battle, man. Kylo was freaking awesome. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. I think I'm going to give it an A. Only reason it's not getting an S is because I don't think Finn would have managed to survive that long. So, A. Okay, Last Jedi battle with the red guys. This is pretty hard, because there's like a couple good things about the battle, and then there's just like the rest is just shit. The battle itself is absolute crap. I really didn't like it. I mean, there were a couple good bits near the end where there were only like 2 red guards left alive. There were a couple really good bits then, but like that shot right there was really average. So it's not going to get that high, though. I'm not going to put it down in D tier, because it actually had awesome design for the red guys. The design for the red guys I thought was freaking awesome. Those guards looked so badass, and you know, they were kind of badass when they actually, you know, had the balls to throw a punch or throw an attack or something. It did look really, really cool. Also, I know it's not part of the fight, but Snoke in that scene, badass. So strong with the Force. I thought Snoke in that scene was really, really awesome. So, you know, with the Red Guards and Snoke and stuff combined, I'm going to give it a C. Could have been so much better, though. It's just a shame that the fight itself was pretty average. We are on to yet another awesome battle. The first fight between Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker. Awesome fight, man. Awesome start, taking place in Cloud City. Goes through so many different environments and everything. It's so cool. And you can see the concept art in almost every single shot. In my opinion, I prefer this fight here between Luke and Vader, but I do really like this one. And while it isn't as flashy as all the other fights, well, yeah, basically all the other fights, it has the emotion behind it. Like the other one with Vader and Luke does. It has the emotion behind it, and it has use of environments, which I really like. We need more use of environments in lightsaber battles, you know? And I guess there are lots of them, but this one, it felt like the environment was truly being used. It wasn't just there to look cool. The environment, like, obviously it was there, and it was looking awesome, but it had that feeling about it that made it seem a lot more like they were actually fighting in that place, doing everything they could in that place to beat each other. I thought it was great. So that's why I'm giving it an S. And now the one with old Ben and Darth Vader. It's the fight itself, nothing much really. Yeah, there's no point in them really fighting. They're just kind of having a standoff, clashing lightsabers a bit. They do have a little bit of a fight. I thought it was shorter, but then I rewatched it and I was like, oh no, that, you know, they actually do stuff in the fight. So I'm not going to put it in D because it has the emotion. I feel like the emotion could have been done more, but at this stage, obviously, all we knew about Obi-Wan was that he was an old guy. But with all the story of the Clone Wars and the prequel series and stuff, I like having known all of that now and rewatching it and everything. It could have been better, but obviously they didn't know it then. It's okay. I'm going to put it at C just because it's got, you know, the emotion and stuff. Because it's not horrible. It's just a bit boring. It's not a bad fight. Like, I'm not putting it down here because it's a bad fight. I'm just putting it down here because it's just not the best. Next up, we got the duel from Rise of the Skywalker. And I think this duel is underrated. I really enjoyed watching it again. I think it is a great fight. It's a long fight, so it has lots of different scenery, like the one with Luke and Vader. And it has use of Kylo's side bits again, when he uses that side bit to block one of Rey's, like, attacks. Which I really like. It's those two times in the forest, and then in this one, are the only times Kylo uses those side bits. Yeah, there's just so much about this fight that's awesome, because obviously it's Leia's last scene. Leia contacts Kylo through the Force, and he goes to the good for a little bit, and Rey goes to the dark for a little bit. It's brilliant because it has Leia in it as well. It's her final scene, which I thought was awesome, and it has use of environment, and the environment is awesome. It's a long fight. It's got different environments. It's got Kylo using his side bits. I got to put it in S. I think most people would probably put it in A, but I really liked it, so I'm putting it in S. The only duel here that has Captain Phasma in it, which is a shame because Captain Phasma was a cool character, should have been used a bit more, I think. But Phasma's appearance in here is great. I really like how after the fight, Rose tries to shoot Captain Phasma and the bullet just bounces off her. Or was it before the fight? I can't remember. But the bullet just bounces off her. I think that was an awesome part of because that is part of the duel. And the duel is very short. Most of it is one long shot. Well, when I say long, it's only about like 10-second shot. And it's of Phasma getting closer and closer to Finn, and Finn's trying his best to fight her off and everything. I thought it was awesome. Though Phasma shouldn't have died. Phasma should not have died. Like I said with this one here when I was talking about this one, Phasma should have survived until Rise of Skywalker, and then it would have been really awesome to see the two of them have their final showdown there. Otherwise, yeah, it's okay. Obviously there's no emotion in it, so I can't put it really high up. It's a good fight. Should have been longer though. That's what I think. Should have been longer. So I'm going to give it a B. even things out, but you know, I'll give it a B. This one here, I actually struggled to like recognize what fight this was. It was taking me a long time to recognize what fight it was, but it's the fight in Rise of Skywalker, I think it is. Yep, it is. Yep, Rise of Skywalker, where Rey and Kylo have their battle through their Force connection, where Rey's in Kylo's base and Kylo's on that planet. It did nothing for me. I mean, I could barely remember it. Yeah, very, very average. For me, personally, there really wasn't much about it that made it cool. I think like that whole power in general is kind of OP, in my opinion. So that's probably why I don't like the fight that much. That's why I'm going to give it a D, because, you know, I couldn't even remember the fight. So that's saying that it's not the best fight. Out of the 2 Yoda fights, this is... I think it's the better one. It's the better one because it's the longer one. And once again, it's another awesome entrance for Yoda when he just casually forces those 2 guards back and they whack against the wall and then they're just gone. It's like, it's pretty funny. And the scenery is cool. It's a long fight as well, so you get to see different scenery. And of course, we're seeing Yoda in his prime. You know, like the Dooku one was good and everything, awesome entrance and stuff. But this is Yoda when he's, you know, properly having a fight. So I thought it was very, very cool. Very cool. And Yoda's flipping around and stuff is actually pretty decent here. You can see what's going on with Yoda's flipping, because in the Dooku one, you really can't tell what's going on. He's just flipping. But in this one, it's cool. And all the Force stuff as well. This is probably the most Force that's ever been in one battle. I can't fault it much, but then again, it's not really, really awesome. So while it's not awesome, but I can't really fault it, I feel like that deserves an A. So I'll put it in A tier. Obi-Wan and Anakin Skywalker. They're the most iconic battle. Oh, actually, no, Phantom Menace is probably the most iconic. This is the second most iconic from the sequels. And it is a good fight. The one thing I noticed here in this one more than I did all the others was the costumes, though. I don't know why, but I noticed the costumes way more in this one than any of the other fights. And I've even got on my notes, the costumes are awesome. So I'm not sure why, but I noticed the costumes more in this one. Obviously, Mustafar is an awesome planet to have a battle to, and they make full use of it being on that planet, which I thought was great. Environmental interaction is just awesome. And also, it's got an awesome scene where Anakin just leaps at Obi-Wan, which I really liked as well. I don't know why. It's only like 2 seconds, but I thought it was really cool. I think Anakin was really good in this one. It wasn't the best fight ever. So like the Palpatine and Yoda one, I'm just going to put it in A. Because, you know, it could have been a little bit better in my opinion. Obviously, it's the most memed Star Wars battle in Star Wars ever. So I'm not sure how I feel about that. I'm not sure if it's meant to give it more points or take away points. I don't know. But I'm going to give it an A, because it's certainly not at this tier, I don't think. And then General Grievous. This scene is pretty cool. But I feel like when they first have their fight, General Grievous is just moving so incredibly fast. You can't see anything that's happening. But I think that's done on purpose because, you know, the dude's got 4 lightsabers and robotic hands that can move at like the speed of sound and shit. So it's not surprising that he moves that fast. Pretty sure it's done on purpose. And if it is, that's cool because it is really, really cool. And then, of course, there's the chase as well. And I'm including that as well. I'm including the chase and Grievous's death in this as well. I think the chase is cool. And the final showdown is awesome, with Grievous and Obi-Wan going like hand-to-hand combat, and then Obi-Wan just fatalities Grievous and everything. Brilliant, brilliant. So I think I'm gonna give it an S, just because it shows how awesome Obi-Wan is. It's Obi-Wan's best fight in my opinion. And that is all of them, my kin. That is all of them. And having a look at this tier list, I'm pretty happy with where I put everything. I mean, if I would probably add another tier between A and S, probably A plus tier, where I'd put where I'd put these 2 fights, because these three fights are in a league of their own. They are just amazing. These 2 I would put in an A plus tier, because they are an S tier, but they're at like the bottom of S tier, and then these 3 are the top of S tier. So like S plus tier, or not double S tier, just S plus tier. Other than that, I wouldn't make any changes, really. I think this is a pretty solid tier list. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'd always be interested to talk about lightsaber battles in the comments with you guys. I do not mind. And obviously, people have different favorites and stuff. And, you know, I mean, I'm pretty sure some people would put that in S tier. Some people would put that up a little bit. Maybe that down. You know, I don't really mind. But I'll talk to you guys about it if you comment in the comments. I don't mind. It'll be really fun to talk about Star Wars. Anyway, that is it for today. Hope you enjoyed this tier list. First Star Wars one. Might be doing more Star Wars ones if I find more on Tier Maker. I'm not sure. Anyway, that's all, and I will see you next time. Goodbye, my kin!